welcome to the next Bloom Zoom, where we're doing flower arranging with my husband, Rick Canali, who is a florist at Exotic Flowers. He's going to take us step by step, and teach us how to put a beautiful flower arrangement together. So I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm so glad to see all of your faces, and I hope you have a great time tonight.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I've never done a Zoom class, so if I'm not as hands-on as I should be, I apologize in advance. We'll do this again in the library, and I can't wait to do that too. Hopefully, some of you have flowers on hand, and if you don't, I'm going to walk you through the steps pretty slowly, because you can do this pretty easily. You can go, and this is the best time of year to do it. You can go out to your garden, go out to the grocery store, go wherever you want that has flowers that you like, because not everybody likes the same stuff. We're going to look at a lot of yellow today. I'm not a huge fan, but it makes people happy, and it'll be fun to do that too. Hopefully you guys all brought scissors. These are ideal for something like this. These you'll find in your knife rack. They're bone scissors. Sharp scissors are key for something like this. I'm going to have garden pruning shears and trick tools of the trade that I use. I don't recommend a knife for anybody that's not familiar with using a knife. It's way too dangerous. But garden shears are very safe as well, and they'll cut through a lot of the wood you're going to encounter in some of these bouquets tonight. If you did get the kit, in the kit is flower food. This stuff works. It really does. So the first step will be to get your, they call this as cliche, this is Ritz-Carlton blue. If you've ever been to the Ritz-Carlton, these things are everywhere in there, even today, for 20, 30 years later. And we're going to put it right in first. It is not like, it really dissolves easily, so we always put it in first, because then we can add the water and we don't have to stir or anything. It mixes itself. If you put the water in already and you didn't have to put it in after, it's not the end of the world. We're just designing flowers, and we're just trying to make ourselves happy in this situation. Hopefully you're actually making this for somebody else, because those are the best ones, when you make them for somebody else.
And how much water should we be putting in this?
I wouldn't fill it to the top, because stuff's going to be going in and the water rises really quick. These particular vases don't hold a ton of water. And it's one of the reasons we don't recommend color vases to a lot of people, because you can never see the water going down. And you're like, why my flowers are wilting? All of a sudden, well, the flowers drink the water every day. You got to add water every day to any arrangement. Even just a little bit makes a huge difference in the life of flowers. No reason, if you don't have a temperature controlled home, that your flowers aren't going to last a week. Some people get 2 weeks. Some people get more than 2 weeks. I say buy more flowers after that. I don't think you want them that long, but that's okay. If you got a bouquet, there's one for Susan. Making a flower bouquet is all about symmetry and structure. Your bouquet is actually tied together, which I didn't realize. I'm sorry about that. Untie it first. Super pipe cleaner. Might have some use. You always start with the greenery. You're going to build a foundation. A lot of you guys, you're going to have a hard time cutting through this. This is wood. You know, take your time. And I just break it. If you can break it, it's easier. These are just the greens. They're going to outlast everything else.
And what are these greens called?
These are lemon leaves, also known as salal. Salal is the proper name. They're called lemon leaves because they look like the leaves of a lemon tree. It's not, they aren't actually the leaves of a lemon tree. You snap them off and you go opposite. Each one goes opposite. That's what I mean. That's what we say by meaning symmetry. We're snapping, we're going in either hole, every way. Helps to always turn the arrangement. See, I got a tall one here. Can I move it to the middle, or I can take it back out if it's too tall? Or at the end of the bouquet, that's what I have my scissors for. I'll just cut it. You know, like I don't actually, this one's actually kind of bothering me because it is too tall. Some people like a tall arrangement. Some people like a wild arrangement. Some people like a compact arrangement. No wrong answers. They're your flowers and they're all going to be beautiful. And because you made them, they'll be even better. This is where we start with making any floral bouquet. It's how you start and what you're going to put in the ingredients. We always start with heavy stems first because we want to build a structure. Roses are a very strong stem. So I always start with roses first unless I have big, huge flowers that have to go in first. We don't. So we put the roses in first. Leave foliage on the roses. The foliage pulls the water up the stem. The only foliage that should come off is the foliage that goes in the water because that causes bacteria. So the best way to do it is to line it up to see where you want it to drop. So I want it to drop there. So I cut it right here. My first one I always put my first one in the center. And then we have 5 here. And odd numbers are always a great thing to work with a lot of flowers because we can go all the way around the diamond. So, and then we just start sliding. One goes to the 9 o'clock, one goes to 3 o'clock, one goes to 12 o'clock, one goes to 6 o'clock. And then we have one in the center of the clock. You guys can pull these things. I don't recommend doing what I just did unless you want to get bit. My hands are so scarred that I didn't feel what I just did. But most of you, if you did that, what I just did, you might be bleeding a little bit. So now I've got 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, one in the dead center. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. A lot of you guys see groupings of flowers on arrangements, and that's great. But we're not doing anything trendy today. We're learning the basics of structure and symmetry. So instead of making my life hard, I'm going to turn it because reaching across, like anything you do, is going to be harder. Again, I'm pulling, which you guys probably can just be clipping. I cut at an angle. Is that really important? No. Cutting is very important. This is where I don't break things because you need a clean cut. I could actually, my thumbnail is sharpened enough that I cut a lot of flowers with my thumb. But you guys, you get probably great manicures and my hands do not look like yours. Flowers are messy. You've probably got a pile of debris already at your feet or on your table. I don't know if anybody's sitting or standing doing this. It's hard to see. It's much easier to stand if you can. It's a lot like cooking. Cooking's really hard if you sit down. Cooking's really hard to do on a table. That's you can't see actually my environment. I'm actually on a table right now, but I've lifted up my arrangement to make it more like a countertop. Like I see a couple of you guys working on counters. It's a lot easier on your back, your shoulders, and you can see a little better. So we're coming up. I'm coming up on my last rose. Blessings. Now these roses, they look pretty good, right? These roses are from Ecuador. Most of the roses you'll find in New England come from Colombia. They might not look too different to the average person. And if you can't tell the difference, great, good for you. That's awesome. They're not bad. Ecuadorian roses are the best. And the Russian market actually drives the price of Ecuadorian roses. The Russians buy so many roses from Ecuador, it affects the price and the supply. It's an amazing thing. We do not drive the market. We don't even drive the market on flowers close as a country. And you'll find that now the greens we use today, these came from Washington. The roses just came from Ecuador. Now, the sunflower you're going to go in next came from New Jersey. A lot of great sunflowers in off-season come from Peru, but we always try to grab stuff in season for pricing, freshness, all that. But these came from Jersey, and why am I going to use these next? They're huge. You guys might have a hard time cutting this. If you're going to break it, you can break it. That's fine, but you're still going to have to trim it. If your scissors can't get through it, I know a lot of household scissors aren't getting through this right now. So trim it, cut it, however you're going to get it, but that's got to go in next. It's too big a stem to leave to the end. If you notice, I don't know if anybody just caught me, I had to cut twice because I actually miscut the first time. Better to cut and be too long thin to cut too short, because then you've got to have one sinking down the bottom, or you're just going to end up in a separate vase. I went to the hole. Always find the biggest hole for the biggest flower. Now, I only have 2 sunflowers in my bouquet. Some of you might have 3, I'm not sure. My next one goes the opposite side. Again, keeping turning, got some balance. This is going to bother me later, but we'll talk about that later. Now, peonies from Holland. Why from Holland? We had some hot weather here like a few weeks ago. They're all pretty much toast here if they were in your backyard. I don't know, a lot of you guys got pink, some of you got white, some of you got burgundy. This is one of my favorite flowers. It's a burgundy peony or peony. There's no wrong answer on that. This opens this. And we always use these in season. You have to. Peonies are an incredibly beautiful flower. Always take advantage of peony season. It's one of those things they haven't mass cloned yet, where it's just available year round, although they're coming out of Alaska soon, so you'll see them more than you used to. Same thing with that. Now, we went sunflower, opposite sides, 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Maybe we should go 4 o'clock over here. Right? I've only got 2 sunflowers. Oh no, I actually have 4. How many do you have, Susan?
I have 2.
No, you have 4 too. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, so this will be fun. So we loaded you guys up with some good stuff. I didn't realize what went into the packages here.
For those of you who got married and had peonies at your wedding, like Ricky and I did, the sign of this is it's supposed to mean a long and prosperous marriage. So that's a little fun fact for the next time you go to a wedding to see if they have any peonies in there. It's supposed to wish you good luck.
So I'm going to switch to this, just so you guys get an idea of how this. At work, we use knives. It works faster for us. It's the only reason we do it. You'll hear these old wives' tales about cleaner cut, better angle. Fresh cut is all that counts. Doesn't matter. We just use knives because they're faster. I'm constantly picking up and putting down a pair of clippers while this can stay in my hand the whole time I work. And the same with the foliage we stripped off the roses. Leave some on the peony, but take all the stuff out so you can get it in the vase. This vase is now getting tight. I'm sure your arrangement's getting pretty full. You guys are moving pretty fast because I'm watching a few of you. You guys are moving right along. So now I turned again. I got 1 sunflower. You probably can't see it. See the sunflower? It's a little low. That's all right. I'll lift it up. And what's this peony? Got a really strong stem. I'll put it in right beside it, and it will hold it in place, elevated. So even though I cut a little short, I can fix that. And I was telling you guys odd numbers are great for flowers, but we're using a lot of evens now. Because we got this. And I now have a hole in the middle, up top. Probably can't see, right? I got a lot of holes up top. So I can move things, now I can move things around. I can take this one, put it here. I got a hole here. I got a rose, it's kind of a little high. Do I want it that high? I don't. So I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna cut it again. Go a little lower. My bouquet just got a lot fuller because everything's closer together now. And keep in mind, when you're dealing with fresh flowers, everything opens. As it ages, it opens. So you see these things in weddings and events, everything's clustered. It's really cool, but that arrangement in 3 or 4 days, everything bursts out of its seams and the thing's hideous because everything had nowhere to go. So when you're making an arrangement, you're kind of like you just want to frame it and you want to envision its age. And this peony will fill this hole in 2 days. And now we have one of prettier flowers there is. This freesia comes all the way from Holland. Smells beautiful, incredibly delicate, lasts longer than you would think. Is it super expensive? Not at all. Not at all. Some of the flowers in this arrangement actually, except outside of the peonies, aren't really expensive. and fairly readily available if you know where and when to go. Roses are a year-round thing. Sunflowers, I only recommend buying them right now in the fall. Freesia is a year-round thing. But you're gonna buy, if you're gonna make this stuff on your own, see what you get. So, I mean, you go into some stores, that stuff should be in the trash. So same thing, just this goes in last. It is just slides right in. That's why we use the smallest flowers last. Because it's easy to poke them in. Now, if I was trying to jam those sunflowers in right now, it'd be in awful trouble. A lot of people will save these little offshoots. It's a really cool thing to do because that has nowhere to go inside there. So if I have a collection of 4 or 5 of these at the end, I just put them in a little, little shot glass, bud vase by the sink, and they eventually open. Nothing goes to waste. And I hold. You see how I'm holding? I'm holding so I can get that in there. Not squeezing. Don't ever, you can hold, you can move. Don't ever squeeze, especially like white roses. You don't ever want to squeeze them. In 3 days, all those bruise marks will show around the edge. You sometimes see white roses, they look like they have these deep wrinkles. It's because somebody grabbed the head and moved it. And you never want to do that with a lot of roses, especially. You can hold, move stuff all you want. You saw me pull that yellow rose out earlier. I've got, I don't know how many freesia you guys got. How many did you guys use?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
She got 5. I got 4. Got one more mold. I got another offshoot. I'll save it for later. Now, some of you guys might want to have them up higher because you like to see how they open and give it texture. No wrong answers. Okay, now I can talk to you guys about this and how this was going to drive me crazy earlier. And it does, it drives me nuts. Bye-bye. And now it's gone. So now we have, and hopefully you guys have, an arrangement that will open beautifully, that has some symmetry, and has some balance, and it's strong, it's transportable. It comes right out of the vase, and if you want to pull up or down, you can. And now you can look at Susie's too, and how each arrangement comes a little different, and everyone's beautiful, right? I mean, hers and ours, hers is better than mine, right? Fuller, and it's totally up to how you guys approach it. Some of you guys might have this big wild thing, and that's cool too. Well, some of you guys might just be like, I'm going to put all my roses in one vase, all my peonies in another, all my freesia in another. And I don't need the greens because how often do I see greens and buy greens? You don't. It's whatever you want to do. It's whatever makes you happy for your event and or your day, or you should always have flowers in the house, I say, right? Or just bring a bunch to somebody. And now's the time of year you can do it too. You got hydrangea coming up in your yard, sunflowers, agapanthus, stuff you probably don't even know the names of. Nobody's going to stop you from clipping that stuff out of your own backyard and bringing that nature indoors. Because why not? It makes us all happy. And when I say that, I don't take it with a grain of salt. Harvard, Rutgers, University of Texas all have scientific studies attached to our brains that said flowers make us happy. I mean, in 98.9% of people, they trigger something in your brain to make you happy. So why not have them in your house all the time?
So just to recap too, I just want to let you know, so Ricky talked a lot about touching the flowers. Something about particularly roses, but all flowers, once you touch them, you're aging the blooms. They're so enticing. So many people want to touch them because they're so pretty, but they will bruise and they will age the life a little bit longer. So you want to try to keep your fingers down. Most of these should be stored in a coolish place. nothing too warm. I know it was really hot a couple weeks ago. It was around 90 degrees, and it's just not weather for flowers. It's just not their time. But now it's perfect weather. You're indoors with air conditioning, and it makes a really pretty centerpiece for your table. It makes a really nice present to give somebody, to cheer somebody up. And again, as Ricky also said, your gardens are blooming. If something starts to wilt, you can easily replace them with any stems in your garden.
Yeah, that's a big thing too, is don't wait till the whole arrangement collapses in your house. One starts to die, slide it out. Slide it out, slide something in. Extend the life of this. You worked on it, and there's no reason to watch something on your table. Nothing bothers us more than dying flowers in the house. They don't last long around here.
Is everybody finished with their flower arrangement? We would love to see them. Claire, maybe you could spotlight some of the flower. If you would like to show your arrangement, you can just put it in the front of your screen, and Claire can spotlight you so that we can see your beautiful designs. Oh, look, that's beautiful. I love it.
Now that's
Very
a perfect
nice.
example, right? Those peonies, boom, they just explode, and not easy to work with when they open so fast, but you really nailed it there, and it's great balance and texture there. I love it.
Would anybody else like to show us?
Emma, I have you on. You want to show us your bouquet?
I see. Oh, these are beautiful.
Wow.
Look, we can see them
I
popping
got
up
see,
right now.
I see one up on top. Wow, that's spectacular.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
That's very nice.
These are all lovely. We have a question for all of you. You're more than welcome to ask any questions that you have. Did you find this exercise to be difficult or on the easier side? Did it make you feel more comfortable flower arranging?
That's great.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It was very helpful. It was great.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yes, this is Sankha. This is very helpful. And I think it'll be very useful when you get bouquet at home, just understanding how to arrange it. The kids helped me. So
yeah, I like flowers.
Oh, I do. The little one said the first thing I brought the flowers. Thank you, Mama. Where did you get these? Thank you.
You'll find too that floral arranging has a lot to do with a vessel in terms of difficulty. The smaller the mouth on a vase, your job's gonna get. When you get these big, wide vases that are gorgeous, they eat up tons and tons of flowers. You can't just get a dozen roses or a bunch of sunflowers and say, they're gonna look great in there. If you get a vase with a mouth like that, I can put 100 roses in it, 100. So you have to think about that with when you're doing your own thing. The smaller the mouth on my vase is, the easier my job is going to be. But if I have a vase that's tall, it could get top heavy and fall over. So you got to be careful too.
Ricky, there's a question of how often do you change the water?
That's a great question. If you have that flower food, or if you received an arrangement from a florist, that food's in there. Do not change that water unless you have more food. The concentration level on most florist arrangements come from a hose. It's hooked up. It's way stronger than that powder pack. So just adding water is the key. At this time of year, and most times of year, the temperature of your home means everything. Cooler the room you're in, the longer your flowers are going to last. If you're adding water every day, which you should, every single day, there's going to be some water missing. And you're like, well, it's only an inch. There's a barium in a lot of those stems, and I don't want to talk science, but water needs to be they need to be immersed in that stem, no matter what. That you need to be almost to the top every day, or you're taking life off the flowers. Some things drink more than others. Sunflowers drink a ton of water. Peonies, quite a bit. Anything, actually everything in this arrangement drinks a lot. Orchids, nah, don't worry about it.
So Alan Law is wondering how we encourage one of the late bloomers to catch up. We are recording this.
And pretty easy is if that person has their bouquet, and just cut it open. Put it in your hand, the greens. Grab the greens in your hand. I'll do it actually real fast.
Ask her what flower is having a hard time blooming, like which one's closed.
Oh, I thought I'm sorry. You mean late blooming? I thought you meant late to the party.
Oh, no, I think that's what they mean, late to the party.
Late to the
Oh,
party.
right,
that's what I
Alan?
thought. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Oh, I meant like one of my peonies is like fully closed still,
Oh,
but it's the rest of the peonies have completely bloomed.
okay. Is that peony brown at the top or no?
No, it's this burgundy color.
Dunk that head in warm water for a couple hours. That should help. And then recut the stem when it goes back in.
Oh, thank you.
You know, a lot of you guys too, this is while I'm on this, because I get this question a lot. Hydrangea are incredibly temperamental and they wilt real fast if you buy them. Take that hydrangea, if it's wilted the first day, cut the hydrangea, put it in hot water, put it in the fridge for 2 hours. It'll come right back to life. So as I destroyed my arrangement here, did we have somebody that was late to the party or not?
I misunderstood the question. I think that was, well, we did have a few people that were late, but I still think I misunderstood
All
the
right, well, now
question.
that I'm here, I might as well do. So
Sorry about that.
you can take your greens. This is the fastest way to do this. Your greens are in your hand, right? And if they're long, that's fine. Shift them in your hand and make sure there's no thorns on the roses you're using. Go one, 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 one. This is kind of how you make a makeshift bride's bouquet too. One, one, all opposite sides. Then I have sunflowers tucked in. Same on the opposite side. Maybe you can see it better that way. One, one, opposite, opposite, opposite. Pulling up a rose because it slid. Opposite here. Okay, now this is where my freesia gets a little challenging, and that's where I can weave it through. And I'll pull that in there, and in there, and in there. Yeah, I may know, it wasn't very instructive, but my bouquet is suddenly fuller, tighter, and I can use it for handheld, I can use it for an event. I can tie it with that pipe cleaner I threw away earlier that I talked to you guys about, see? Now I have, twist it. Goes anywhere I want. I might as well cut the stems even now. And now it's back in the vase. I have a completely different looking bouquet than I had before. I'd fix that for, there you go. And it took me way less time. You can do that too. You know, a lot of you who design flowers at home, unfortunately, never have greenery. And greenery is the foundation of how to make an arrangement. I don't like a lot of greenery. I actually don't think you should even see it personally. And I know it's trendy that you do see eucalyptus and everything now. But it holds things together and it gives you an advantage to space things out so that the flowers you're seeing more one flower at a time instead of a mass of flowers, which is beautiful too. But it teaches you more of, if you had to make something big, you can't jam all the flowers together and make it big. You need to have something holding everything in place. Something, you know, sunflower stem has to hold up another stem, and the lemon leaves have to hold the structure in place, or the thing's just waving around. And so always try and get a strong greenery or twigs. And a lot of you guys have willow branches in your backyard. That works awesome. Those curly things, they work great. Forsythia branches, pussywillow branches, any of that stuff. Eucalyptus is a huge thing these days, and everybody seems to love it and ask for it. But, which leads me, I think I don't see it, but I put this in there. I don't know if any of you guys got it. We're all tired of this right now. Hand sanitizer, no question. If your hands have got gunk on it, Hand sanitizer works better than anything with pitch, pine, eucalyptus sap, way better than palm olive in the sink. So put that on first before you head to the kitchen sink to clean up.
You have a
A hint, if you're got pine pitch on your car, the hand sanitizer works beautifully.
I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Used to camp and it would get pine pitch, and I just tried that one day and it works wonderful.
That's good. I never thought of that. I get that. Totally get it.
Well, the bouquets are gorgeous. They are just beautiful.
They are so beautiful. If you'd like to post them to also to our Facebook page, you should do that, to the Westwood Public Library. I know that other people would love to see them.
You guys definitely you did a great job. I mean, I talk fast and I apologize for that, but look, it's stunning. Some of this stuff is really stunning. And it's total, everybody had balance, which it actually shocks me because a lot of people seem to gravitate one flower to one side, one flower to one side, and that's not wrong either. It's just, it's not the basics. It's not the basics. It's trendy. But you need to know the basics if you're gonna want to do this for a lot of different seasons, because the flowers change all the time, and you want to be able to use all different kinds of stuff, right? I want to use peonies in the late spring, early summer. I want to use rovers in the fall, things like that.
You all did beautifully, so you're all hired. You did great.
Always love good staff, no question. It's a grind. I'm working with flowers, but it's definitely a grind.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just want to take a moment to thank the Friends of the Library for supporting these great programs. And I want to thank Susie and Ricky for running this program. It was great. All your Zoom Bloom programs are great.
Yes.
We'll be back next fall with Zoom too. I'm not sure what it is, but it will be fun.
Thank you.
Surprise.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was really nice, fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They gave you the flowers for free?
Yeah. The library's a good
Thank you.
library.
Thank you.
So they gave you the flowers for free? That's amazing.
Jamie, you did a nice job.
This computer is. Thank you.
Nice job.
Let's see, how come I can't get rid of? So this computer is really.
Hemo, I can stop you, I think.
Yes. Can you? My
Yeah, I'm
iPad
going to
is
end
really
it.
slow.
Susie, I'll talk to you. Ricky, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
That was great.
Thank you.